strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Hey everybody, it's Bulldog back with another video. I'm sorry, I know this morning I promised that the next next several videos would be gameplay related, and this is not the case, but that's because I didn't know they were going to drop Jedi Luke on us. So I don't know if this was actually timed or if this was meant to be kind of a distraction from what's going on, but either way, it's huge info, and the community is having a bunch of different reactions. A lot of people are super excited for obvious reasons. Jedi Luke's coming, one of the most iconic characters in the game. Obviously, that's going to generate a ton of excitement. Then there are people who are panicking because they feel like this means it's the end of the game, that this is what CG would drop on us right before they close down the game, or at least generating new content for the game. And I honestly, I can't see it. I disagree with that for a bunch of different reasons, and that's kind of what I want to talk about. Why I just can't see this game shutting down anytime soon. And the biggest reason is money. This game generates a ton of money, and it's I mean, at worst, it's a cash cow for them. I mean, I'm hoping there's going to be a lot more content, a lot of new things coming. They've said that there's been nothing coming recently because they're working on redoing the framework of the game, and they wouldn't do that right before the game closed down. But even if you don't believe that, just the sheer amount of money this game has generated, over $1 billion in revenue, it's too rich to shut down. But even beyond that, even if we ignore the money, maybe we think there's Galaxy of Heroes 2 that's going to start up or something, that which we've heard people say, which doesn't make any sense to me. But even if there's another game replacing it, I don't see that happening. And one of the other big reason for me is that I actually predicted, and several others. I'm not omniscient or anything like that. I predicted Jedi Luke and Vader would be the next Galactic Legends, and there's an easy reason why. And because with Galactic Legends, you need a bunch of characters to farm, right? We had to farm up all the Resistance, all the First Order, a lot of characters that people weren't really working on because they weren't that good. Well, what factions do we have right now that could bring an iconic character to the game that a lot of people don't have farmed up? Which factions are kind of the barest right now as far as what gear people have on them, what stars people have on them? And I think it's Rebel. It has to be Rebels and Empire. You'd think that they'd either do an original trilogy, a pair of Galactic Legends, or a prequel set. And with the prequel, you've already got the territory battles going on with that, and you've got Separatists. Separatists are really good already. Most people already have the Separatists. You could throw some Sith in there that maybe people haven't farmed, some prequel Sith, but for the most part, people have those characters. A lot of the Galactic Republic Jedi they don't have, so that could be one area. But I don't think there's any doubt about it that the hardest group to farm right now, if you're putting together a faction like this, is Rebels and Empire. How many people have Lobot at Gear 13? I mean, it's how many people have Royal Guard or Gar Saxon or any of those guys at Gear 13? There is a big void there, so there's money there. It's going to be hard to farm. Not even necessarily just hard to farm, but a lot of people don't have them. The only people who are really going to be already prepared in advance are people just happen to like those factions that don't follow the meta teams or anything like that, and just go after the ones they like. But even if you love Rebels, how many people? How many people have some, like I said, Lobot, Bodhi? How many people have those actually at Gear 13? Very, very few. So it's either people who focus on those factions, or just whales that have Gear 13 everything, and then it doesn't matter because they're going to have it no matter what. So I think that's kind of the obvious answer, is that it's a good time to drop Jedi Luke and Vader. I'm going to assume Vader's coming with him. I don't think we've actually seen that. I guess technically we don't know a lot about Jedi Luke either, or if he's going to be Galactic Legends, but he's got to be. He just has to be. But it's a perfect time because the devs said that they didn't want to see Jedi Luke replaced. They didn't want to bring him in, and then he's too iconic to drive him out of the meta. And you can do that with Galactic Legend. These Galactic Legend characters are set up to be the best characters in the game for a long, long time. So I don't think Kylo or Rey are going away anytime soon. They are too powerful. They've got it set up so you can only be one on each squad anyway, so you can't just have a bunch of Galactic Legends on one team or anything like that. So they are going to. It's going to be hard to really replace them. Maybe as like an arena team, but even with Grand Arena, they're going to be one of the top characters in the game for a long, long time. We've got to get more Galactic Legend characters out there, at least in my opinion, because if we're going to start adding more events, so let's look at a raid for example. Okay, if you're designing a raid right now, how do you even design a raid at this point? Because anything like our current Sith raid, obviously, so Kylo just flat out destroys it. Rey's very good in it, but nothing compared to Kylo. How do you design something that those characters can't just instantly demolish while still allowing some other characters to be competitive? And I don't want to say that you can't, but that's a very, very difficult task. And with all the things you have to factor in, I'm not sure that's a realistic task to ask somebody to complete. And I think the solution to that is you have to get a bunch more Galactic Legend characters out here. So that way, if you've got 10 Galactic Legend characters, now you can design a raid, and those 10 characters are just kind of become the basis of all your raid teams. So yeah, maybe each raid team has to have a Galactic Legend character in it to actually be able to really beat that raid or to do well in it. But that's okay when you've got 10 of them, because you can build a bunch of different teams and that type of thing. So in order to get new content, they've got to start pumping out some more of these Galactic Legends. And it makes sense to have Jedi Luke and Vader being one of those, and they can be around for a really long time, and you don't have to worry about them falling out of favor with the game. And I honestly, I will never believe that this game is dying. I don't think I will ever believe it until they say the game is dying, because people have been saying this game is dying pretty much since it started. When Commander Luke Skywalker came out, people said, "Oh, the game is dying because they're releasing Luke to us. He's the best hero, and they won't go past him. Nobody will ever surpass Luke." And obviously Commander Luke Skywalker is still a good character. He's still a very relevant character. He can still beat some of these top tier teams, and it's even designed up more now with the way the Galactic Legends are set up, that he's not going to be replaced. Galactic Legend Luke, Galactic Legend Vader, they're not going to be replaced anytime soon once they come out. So I'm just not concerned about that. And then again, it just keeps going back to money. This game is bigger than it has ever. Okay, I shouldn't say maybe bigger than it's ever been, but as far as new players coming into the game, they did a tremendous job with the whole journey guide and new player experience as far as for spenders goes, with the hyperdrive bundle and all of that. So this year, like if you look at the number of new shards that have started this year, that's kind of a good way to gauge how many new players are coming into the game. So in 2018, there were 32 new shards that opened up through the course of the year. And in 2019, there were 23, so it was trending down. This year, we're not even halfway through the year. This year, we are at 20. And the data I have, this is pulled from a starting guide Discord server that tracks all this stuff. It goes back to November of 2017, and there was only, in the final month and a half, there was only 2 shards there. So it seemed like that year would have even been slower than this year. But this is the busiest we've seen new players coming into the game since that server started tracking it in 2017. And new players in the game now, I don't have data on this, but I have to believe they're spending more money on the game than new players entering the game even just a year ago, because of that hyperdrive bundle. And we're seeing, I know when I joined, this was back in February, but we've got 300 hyperdrive players on our shard or something like that. It is a ridiculous amount. There's so much money coming into the game. It's growing faster than it has, at least in recent memory. And there's no way it's going to be shut down. No way. This whole I know there's a lot of controversy. What's going on right now? It's all gonna blow over eventually. I don't know if that's going to be a week from now, or 2 months from now, or what's going to happen, or how they're going to handle it. But the game is not dying. And yeah, yes, I'm bouncing around again. I'm sorry. I'm speaking with my hands. A bunch of people asked me about this in the video this morning. Why are you bouncing around? Why are you fidgeting so much? I'm one of those people who speaks with my hands a lot, and the camera's zoomed in so much that you can't see my hand, so it makes it look very awkward. Anyways, off on a tangent there. I just don't see this game dying. I think this is going to be another huge moneymaker for the game, and the game's going to keep I want to say growing, and I think it might even continue to grow. But even if it doesn't grow, it's not going to die. At least not going to die that quickly. If this game, outside of like EA losing the Disney contractor and having to shut down or something like that, which I don't even know how. When the contract runs out in like what 2023 or something like that. I don't even know what that means for the game or anything like that. But outside of something drastic like that, this game isn't just going to die like that. It's not. There's too much money coming in. Star Wars, people are never going to lose interest in Star Wars. Other than just somebody designing a better Star Wars game, I don't see it happening, and EA's not going to compete with themselves that way. They're just not. So I don't see this game ending anytime soon, and this definitely is not a sign that the game is ending. Absolutely not a sign that the game is ending. People are going to continue to say each new thing, each big thing that costs a lot of money is their last ditch effort to drain us of all our cash. And eventually I'll be wrong. I mean, eventually the game will end, but I would not surprise if I had to bet money as far as how long this game continues. I would say 5+ years without a doubt, no questions asked. And could even consider longer as far as how long this game will run. I don't think it's shutting down anytime soon. Definitely not at least until like 2023 when that contract runs out. It's just not. So I know I'm at the point where I'm repeating myself and rambling on. Okay, this whole thing's been rambling on. But anyways, I promise I'm doing gameplay videos tonight and sometime this weekend. So I'm sure there's nothing. I shouldn't say I'm sure. I should never say that. I don't anticipate anything big dropping today or tomorrow. So it's going to be gameplay videos next. As close to promise as I can. So stay tuned, and thank you guys for listening to me rant. I've done too much of that recently. Gotta get back to what I'm actually good at. So anyways, thanks a lot for listening. I will see you all this weekend.